All right, this infrared image shows the point at which we successfully knocked down a missile, and we did it with technology so advanced. The reminder to the North Koreans was, yeah, we can do this, like a bullet hitting a bullet. You've heard that analogy before, but I think it's brilliant because it shows just the impossible, daunting task that would seem to technologically pull off, but we did. Now, is it going to get the North Koreans to change and maybe to ease up on all these tests that have become, in fact, have been lately, a weekly event? Former U.S. Green Beret Scott Mann. Scott, what do you think?
I don't know, Neil. Thanks for having me on. You know, I mean, it's encouraging to see the tests go that kind of way. It's almost reminiscent of, the Cold War era when that technology was really being pushed hard. And it's hard to believe we're back at that now. But I mean, it is encouraging to see that. The other thing that I would just say to any politicians that are thinking about budgeting and things like that is, North Korea is actively moving toward a strike capability. They're saying within the next 5 years they may have it. So this testing is going to have to continue, and it's going to have to get better and better because these folks aren't going to back off.
I always think it's not so much what you want to get out of Kim Jong-un, the North Korean leader, but what you want to get out of his chief sponsor in the region, or at least the one who backs him up through all these sanctions, China. And I always get, and you know this better than I, but I always get the impression that maybe China can't control this nutcase. So what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I'm not sure that they control the strings as much as some might think. And, I'm just thinking about the test they did not that long ago. I'm not sure if it was on their Independence Day or their Armed Forces Day, but they launched a barrage of just tactical artillery.
Right.
And we have to think about the fact that, he could rubble Seoul within minutes using tactical artillery and combat aircraft.
But Scott, wouldn't they know? I've always heard that. They have that ability to do that, but they would know that would be a suicidal venture for them, right? All right, so you take out Seoul, God forbid. You take out yourself in the process. I mean, that's just a given, right?
I don't necessarily think that would be the case with tactical artillery. I mean, you're just talking about, artillery pieces that could fire a relatively short distance. These are
but that we would
munitions.
Respond that way, if not South Korea,
sure,
they're incapable. So they know,
yeah.
I guess what I'm saying, that would be a suicidal mission on their part, or maybe they don't care, or maybe that's the risk of dealing with someone, whose oars aren't in the water.
I think that's just the gamesmanship of international politics when you're dealing with a lot of these rogue states. What really is, their ideology and commitment to it. And I'll tell you one other thing that concerns me about this, Neil, and it ties back to your last segment, is when we have political leaders and, leaders without titles in this country holding up the dead, the heads of dead presidents, and just the level of division and disunity that we have in this country right now with a threat like that at the door and what just happened in Manchester. As a former soldier and as a guy who has buddies still serving overseas in harm's way, man, it's really hard to watch that. It's really hard to watch that kind of division in our country when we have a threat like this.
Our enemies
rattling
laugh at
sabers.
us. Our enemies laugh at us when they see something
Absolutely.
like that. All right.
Absolutely.
Scott, thank you very much, and for your service to this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
All right, we're getting reports of 16 arrests, 11 still believed to be in custody in relation to that Manchester bombing. Police say there's new evidence that may